Okay guys and girls, welcome back to the Land Rover Toolbox videos. This one now is common rail, and what we're talking about is a Tdci type system, which is the Puma engines. There are two different Puma engines. There's the 2.4 and the 2.2. They have the differences, and they're minor. However, one has a transfer pump in the high pressure pump, and the other one has a fuel pump in the tank. Alright, so anyway, what I want to do is explain the common rail more than anything, and we'll sort of like introduce the Puma stuff in as we do it. I'm not really familiar with the 2.4, 2.2, we've got some in the workshop and we do get problems with them. The major one is this tank pump. Yeah, the major problem is tank pump. It will come up with a VCV fault, and it won't be that at all. You'll have a lot of shit in the tank pump and it won't be pumping properly. Okay, so it's just something to remember. This is not a diagnostics course here. This is just a fuel system overview. As with the 300 Tdi EDC, okay, it has a brain. As with the TD5, you have information coming in from the engine. The difference is now with common rail is monitoring the exhaust emissions, so that'll be monitoring the pressure differences between the exhaust, because it wants to know that it has a full flow there and it's not blocked up with soot. I think I'll have to do this later on, but however, this does make a difference because emissions are forever more becoming more and more important. They're trying to get emissions down as much as possible. Okay, so anyway, let's concentrate on this. Right, so what we have is a tank here with your fuel in, usual system with breathers and all that. Okay, so the 2.4 doesn't have a pump in the tank. What it has in the high pressure pump here is a transfer pump. Okay, that sucks it all the way through to here. Okay, the later 2.2s have a tank pump in which pushes diesel through, and it's a lot better. Okay, if you have issues with leakage here, it's sucking, isn't it? So that will cause you a problem, whereas if it's pushing, it will leak and you'll see the leak. Okay, right, so anyway, basically what we have is from tank to filter, and then it goes to the high pressure pump. That's a supply 2. Okay, now what the high pressure pump does, it's not like an injector pump. All it does is provide pressure to a common rail. Okay, so we have fuel coming in. It's controlled by VCV, which is a volume control valve. Okay, you have a temperature sensor here as well, which sends information to the ECU so it can adjust the volume coming into the pump. Alright, so whether it's got a transfer pump or not, it has a leak back. Okay, leak back can also come from the injectors to the pump out to the common T-piece to a cooler. Alright, we'll get to that in a minute. So your high pressure pump, HPP, okay, what it is designed to do is just deliver pressure to the common rail here. Now the common rail, as it says, is a common rail. Okay, so that means it will provide constant pressure to 4 injectors. Okay, it has a sensor here, your pressure sensor here, which senses what pressure is in the rail, and it also has a limiting valve here. Okay, if the rail is exceeded, the pressure is exceeded, just as a safety, that will blow off and let back. And there's something you should know is if this comes up with a DTC to say that this has blown off, you've got to change it. Alright, according to the manual. I've not had one blow off, or I've known of one anyway. So what you have is your high pressure pump converts low pressure diesel pressure into high pressure to the rail and then off to the injectors. Okay, now the rail is a fairly stable pressure. Okay, the pump's always adjusting its pressure to keep this pressure right. Okay, and there is quite a bit of difference in pressure depending on the speed you're going. Okay, so what it's doing, it'll deliver pressure to the injector, and then the injector is controlled, there's a solenoid in here, by the ECM. Now these can fire off very quickly. I think there's 5 squirts on this one. You have like pre-squirts, you have a main burst, and then you have post burst, and this is to give you power and to clean up the burn in the bore. Okay, and you also have a leak back, which is goes back to the high pressure pump on this. Some don't, they go somewhere else. Leak back should be very minimal. Okay, there shouldn't be much there. Okay, so yeah, basically what happens in this system after then is the diesel leak back will go to a fuel cooler and then back to the tank. Alright, so basically that's it. Yeah, that's just the fuel system as it is. The volume control valve, now that is an important element. Okay, that is controlling how much volume comes into that pump. Okay, the high pressure pump itself, that's controlled by this via the ECM. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it there for now. Obviously that is how it works, and it's that simple. Yeah, it's it gets more and more complicated when you need to diagnose things. Alright, but I think what we'll have to do is I'll try and scag a Puma from somewhere eventually and get to show you how to diagnose this system. Alright, what I should say, on a high pressure system you never crack the injectors off. Okay, when the pressure is in the rail, just let it sit, okay, for like half an hour or something. Once you've undone these unions, the high pressure pipes on the rail, don't use them again, because they're once use only. I know people fit them again, but it's not exactly right. They leak, they cause problems, people try to cram them down even more, and then they ruin the olive fittings or the threads on the common rail. Okay, this block is cast iron. You see it, it's the rusty bit on the engine. Yeah, and this will hold extremely high pressures. Okay, the sensor senses the pressure and sends it to the ECU. It can then work with the high pressure pump to control the volume going into the common rail. Okay, but as I said, this is a constant feed. Okay, to each of the 4 injectors in this case. Okay, so the pressure's there, the solenoid drops off and gives it squirts. Okay, for instance, with diagnostics, if you have 4 injectors and you have one that's leaking off quite dramatically, that'll be the injector that's fucked. Alright, these are not the best. These Delphi ones, they're not brilliant. The later Puma 2.2s, they've got piezo injectors. They're a little bit better, but they still can fail. You can have more leak back than you really want. Okay, what else can I say about this? The diesel coming out of this will be quite warm. Okay, you keep it cool, the diesel will come to a certain viscosity. The temperature sensor here is determining, like I said on the EDC type, it's determining the quality of fuel that's coming into this pump. The ECM can then adjust this accordingly and adjust the injection accordingly. These systems, this transit engine, for want of a better word, because that's what it is a Ford engine, okay, a Duratorque engine. You'll find this in quite a few different vehicles. It's not just Land Rover and Ford Transits that have got this. The Ford Ranger's got it. I think some of the Peugeots have got this system as well, as far as I'm aware. I've not seen it. However, you can set these at an injector learn. They will learn. They will learn the system. You basically wipe this, reset the ECM. Okay, the injectors will then learn, and then it goes through a process when you're doing a set with a scanner. Now, this sort of system, you do need scanners with them for diagnosing faults. There are some simple ones, and usually it's something like a filter blocked. Yeah, and like the Land Rover one that's by the wheel arch, that's a really stupid place to put it. This pump as well, on the 2.2s, we've had constant issues with them, especially with which had bad quality fuel that's had sand and water. It's screwed the pump up very, very quickly. Okay, and you wouldn't believe how misbehaved this whole system will be if it's not delivering fuel properly. That takes experience and a bit of thinking about, because I had one of these, it was telling me it was a VCV valve, volume control valve, so I changed that out, which is about £100, and it did nothing. Okay, it did absolutely nothing, so I had to go back to the drawing board. Well, we actually took the tank off and had a look at the pump, and that was full of sand. It was still delivering fuel, but not at the right pressure. Okay, that makes a big difference. Now, at the time we had no data. Land Rover wouldn't supply us the data for the delivery of the low pressure side. Alright, they just wouldn't let us have that information. On the line here, there's a little Schrader valve which you can take a pressure reading from this pump on the 2.2 to read what pressure you've got coming out of that pump. Yeah, even if it looks like it's gushing out, it might not be enough pressure. It's not the volume, it's the pressure that's important. Okay. So anyway, I'll leave that there for now. This there's a lot more to this. You've got your induction side on each of these engines with your turbos, and with the later common rail ones, you've then got the exhaust to consider. And I really sort of need to maybe describe a little bit of how all that works, because with your emissions controls, that will affect the running of this if the ECM is not happy with your exhaust. Okay, if it's blocked or whatever. Okay, DPFs people are having a lot of problems with if they start to get sooted up, so that's a subject in itself. So I hope you're happy with this. The only thing I want to say with this high pressure pump, it's not timed like your injection pump. The timing doesn't have to be perfect on it. Yeah, it's chain driven in this particular engine. Yeah, you time your engine up, put it on, bang, away you go. You don't have to adjust this to any type of lift or anything, because it's not sequence timed, it's just providing pressure to there. So anyway, that's that in a nutshell. So there you go. Alright, have a nice weekend.